Talk to him.
Talk to him.
Talk to him.
Talk to him.
Bro,
What
please,
the fuck,
bro,
man?
why?
I'm joking. Stop.
Talk to him.
Action. BP. Right here on Talk to Him TV. Is that what you said?
Alright, so we right here with my boy BP. What's good, BP?
What's up? What's up?
So like on Talk to Him TV, I know we had you on the live show, but on the Talk to Him TV, like when I start off, I just like let you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. You know what I'm saying? Let them know what you do. I mean, you don't gotta never look at the cameras. Everybody be like, do I gotta look at which camera? That's it. Like, nah, you don't gotta. And then I mean, it's like we just having a normal conversation. Man. So yeah. So you can go ahead and let the people know like what you do for a living, your title.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not really into like titles. Kind of weird. I'm a little different. I look at things different. But I would tell you, you know, most people would probably call me an entrepreneur or I own my own business. But I didn't always. At one point, I worked in the corporate world for two large companies for a long time, and then, you know, like we all do, life has its ups and downs, and after a down valley after that.
You a coach, right?
Yeah, I coach basketball. My son hoops, so I coached basketball for about a year and a half when he got into that.
Who you coach for?
I just coached the AAU team. Yeah.
So I'm saying you a coach. That's a title.
Oh yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know you don't like titles though.
Yeah.
And then so
I don't like titles for anything because it just puts people. I don't want to be in a box, bro. Like, don't put me.
So what's the business that you own though?
So my business that I own is like we do like pool enclosure repairs.
Yeah, screening.
Mm-hmm. But I've morphed that. I started that company. I've been doing that since I was a kid. But back to 2016, I hit a boom, and then I was dull. Like, you ever get dull? Like, you're an artist, you know. I feel like I'm an artist. I feel like you don't have to draw or make music. Like, there's multiple kinds of artists, right?
Yeah.
If you're an artist mind, you got an artist mind. I was in a just, you know what I mean? Like, just a creativity wasn't there, and so I started this podcast in 2016, and I was like, it was a rough 3 months leading up to that, probably roughest 3 months of my life, and I was like, yo, at the time, my passion was social media,
right,
marketing, like that's what I was good at. I had started a company right before that year where I was doing social media marketing, and it wasn't hot yet, and I was getting clients and businesses. And then at one point, a buddy of mine came to me with an idea, and it was right up my alley to do something together. So I sold all my clients and went with him, and it didn't pan out, and then that left me kind of like in a weird spot. So I did this podcast to get my creative juices going. And so every day I would just go out in my car in between driving to South Florida to work for 10 hours and Uber at night, and I would just pick a particular business that I'd see driving by. I'd look at their social media accounts real quick, and then drive, hit the camera, and just freestyle, like, and talk about what I saw they were doing that I liked, what I didn't like, what I thought they should be doing, every day for 30 days. And I didn't think I was gonna like hit big or become viral or something like that. I just knew that at the very least, at the end of it, I'd have my shit back, my creativity, you know, and back to just being BP, like what made me who I was. And like day 27, 28, I got a text from my brother, or I saw something on Facebook in a group about the family business that we've had and done since we were a kid through my dad, and they were looking for a screen person, and I sent it to my brother, and I'm like, look what you did, dude. This kid was our neighbor for 30 years, and he's like, oh, I told him I shut it down. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I literally didn't make the last 2 videos of that, and I just, boom, I went into action, and I knew everything I needed to do, how to grow it and blow it up, because I'm a marketing guy. I had been working all those ideas for those 30 days. It's not something that I want to do for the rest of my life, nor was it at that time, but it got me out of that bad place I was in with 2 grown kids, you know, tough. And I just went. So I started as a repair company. It was always just a one-man company growing up. You know, I learned its trade in high school, and now I was 42 minus 6.
Well, wait, where you
I was
from?
35.
Where you from, Orlando, right?
I was originally born in New York. I started middle school here. So I was born in a small town, Pelham, which is like right next to the Bronx.
Okay.
Went to school there, played sports up there, and then moved down here for middle school. And I've been here since. Yeah, I went to college for a year in Boston. Played football.
What area you grew up in Orlando?
Right here, Longwood.
Oh,
Same
okay.
school, my same like literally within a 2 mile radius of where where I grew up then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So this is my community, Longwood, like Seminole County, like it's my spot. Like I don't go anywhere without bumping into somebody, you know. And my wife, my kid's mom, she's not from here, so we've been together, you know, accumulatively 17 years. It took her a long time to get used to that, because even a decade ago, you'd be in a grocery store or whatever, like I always see somebody, you know, and I don't know. I think a lot of women don't like that in general anyway, you know. People never
Yeah, they definitely don't.
about.
They act like they be cool with it until they get put in that position, you know that. You know.
But yeah, that's my business. I built it and evolved. I'm way different business than I was when I started. I was by myself. I did my first 4 jobs in a 4-door sedan I had at the time. I didn't even have a truck. And then I bought my first truck, cash, a little $700 beater, used it through the summer with no AC, no power steering. I'd be driving home cramping up. Just
how many years ago this was?
This was 2016.
Okay,
so the summer of 2016. And then in September of that year, I finally found my first guy. He was like a gift from God, dude. He just dropped that. He had called me, asked if I was hiring, and it was a day after this guy I had been trying out screwed me. I'm like, you know what, I am. I'm like, let me call you back. And then like, I never called him back. And then 2 weeks later, this other guy burned me again. And my wife's like, yo, didn't you say some guy called you? Like, yeah. So I called him, and he was like that. He was a gift, man. He was very talented. He
still work with you now?
Mm-hmm. He was at a place in his life probably too. I'd hit a road, and it's just the perfect storm, you know. Sometimes you can't. Things are gonna happen. Like you can control what you can control, but you can't stop.
Do you do a lot of pools though?
Yeah, we do a lot. We do now. We build like a starter's repaired, but now we build, and now we do custom stuff. Like so now I've evolved my business into more of a design, and that's why I said the art stuff, because you know for years I've been struggling with this. Like it's a good business. Like I love my guys, are like family. You know, I feel like I impact their lives.
How many people you got working for you?
Right now, I've shrunken because I changed the direction of the company. But at the highest point, I had 13, and all my guys were like descendants of each other. Like they all were trained by each other at another company. A lot of my guys are Jamaican, and all my guys are family. Like they come in, eat with my kids. It's been awesome. But I had to evolve as a company because I didn't want to do repairs forever. So as I got into building, you know, I always struggle with, man, like, this is good. I'm helping my guys. They're bettering their lives. Like, people love us. We're known in the community. We do good work, but I'm not, like, fulfilled. Like, there's so many other things I'm good at I want to use I'm not being able to use. I can't even market the way I did at the beginning because I could grow through the roof, but I can't get enough good people. And the way I run my company, it's not like I don't want a bunch of people and to make a bunch of money. Like, I just want a group of people that can work together and they can make good money and then go be with their family and we better each other's lives. And it's about that, not about like, and feeling good at the end of the day about what you did. So now as we've got into like custom builds, like I'll send you some pics, like we build high-end like stuff that other people aren't seeing around their pools. Like, cause I see shit different. So I design it and then I sell it, and I learned all the codes now, and now we're doing that. And my guys are older for this industry. That's the other reason I moved out of repairs, to build and they can last longer. And then we can start to train people. But now they're like triggered again. Like they're, you know, interested because it's challenging. When you become elite at something, like how do you stay engaged all the time? Every like NBA player, like when you're, you know, LeBron or somebody at the top, like to stay at that, like, I've told all my guys this from day one, especially the ones that have tried to boom, boom. Like, look, dude, it's different at the top. Like, I know you say you want to be there, but it's different. Anyone can get to the top in anything. Staying there, whole nother animal, and that relates to any area, right? You agree?
Yeah. I go through a lot of that right now myself. Like, you have to ask yourself, like, do you want to do this?
Yeah, because I tell them, like, dude, you think we're all cool right now? But like that guy right there, as soon as you think everyone perceives you as like my guy or like you're the top dog, like it's gonna change. They're gonna look at you different, they're gonna talk different, and you gotta be ready for that, like beforehand, mentally. Otherwise, you're just another number of somebody else that gets to the top and boom, 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 comes out.
Mid-Florida pools. Do you know who that is?
I've heard of them, yeah.
Cause that's the company that like that I was telling you that. Cause that's who my own stepfather. He worked for them for a long time doing pools.
Wow.
What about the coast to coast pools?
Yeah, my older brother builds pools for 15 plus years. He builds pools for Premier Pools. The name of my screen repair company is Wakaiva Screen Repairs. About a year.
I know how to build pools.
Yeah.
I used to do the plaster because my dad do the plumbing. So you know what I'm saying, when I like when I was like 17, 18, like I ain't like like he worked for the people already,
Yeah.
so they're like let us go to work with them to like make extra money and stuff.
Yeah.
So like I used to always do like the plastering part, like with the mixer and all that shit, which is I think the worst fucking part.
Yeah.
But I mean, but yeah, I know how to build pools though. I mean, like, and then I used to do the repair too, where we used to have to put on the scuba diving gear and jump in the pool.
No,
now,
we build the things
best,
around the pool.
That was the best part though. Like you get to put the scuba gear on, then you just be stuck at the bottom of the pool because you got to put the weights on and stuff. Sometimes I used to just sit down that motherfucker and just
relaxing, sitting in the pool, right?
Because you get to just sit at the bottom of a pool and just breathe, and I just used to just hang out.
I study people. Somebody I studied, one that I still follow to this day. You know, you have people that influence your life that, you know, you pick up things from that you like, whether it's an artist or you're a movie guy, certain director, right, or producer. So I like David Blaine, and not because he's
the trick guy, right?
Yeah, I don't like him with his tricks. I was never into that. I like the mindset he had when he would talk on his specials and how he would just push the human body's limits. Like I got into him when he started getting into more of that side of stuff. And he started getting into like the underwater breath thing at one point, and so I watched a special of him talking how he trained for it, and I'm like, So I would try it because he would talked about how the preparation, it would relax you because it was breathing. So I like to always prepare myself just in general for any possible situation that could come up. So when it does, it's not like you don't panic or whatever. I'm an extreme kind of person, so. I used to go in the pool and just sit at the bottom, take weights and just chill until you get to a point where you can actually hold your breath for 2 to 3 minutes, and it becomes like you just said, like scuba. It's the most relaxing thing, dude. When you can sit in the bottom of the pool and just chill, and you're like, you're underwater holding your breath, and nobody.
I think it might be the silence.
Yeah, that process they teach you how to bring your heart rate down. And when you bring your heart rate down, like that's part of relaxing. To get truly relaxed, your heart rate so it becomes like a technique.
Cause David Blaine, you could tell he always be like really relaxed. Cause I meditate and stuff a lot. So like me, I'm like I pay attention to smells and like sound a lot.
Every little sense.
Yeah, like me, that's like I got like a senses problem. Like I pay attention, like people be all like, I be like, you heard that? And people be like, what? I ain't hear that. And they be like, man, you tripping. I be like, nah, you just ain't hear it because you don't pay attention to sounds. But
I'm deaf in one ear. I only have 10% hearing in one ear, and I hear stuff same that other. I'm like.
But David Blaine like talks so.
But I see stuff. You probably see stuff other people. When you get a picture, when someone sends you a picture, you probably see instantly the thing that everyone else doesn't first, right? I always catch like that weird obscure thing in the corner, like not the normal person sees the main object of what it is. Yeah. Yeah, but
like I said, you even see me like around the office though. You know what I'm saying? Like all the artwork and stuff. You can like. I just love art anyway. Like that's why I got a lot of these. Most of these all got custom done. I don't think it's only a few that I probably bought that was already done.
I'm a big fan of people that are artists, and I like to be around people that are elite at their craft, whatever it is they do. Like
but I mean, cause art come in different forms. But then like when you go around somebody else that's artistic too, then it's like you learn another form of art.
Yeah.
Because like you say, we pay attention to everything. People that pay attention to stuff, they learn a lot. Even if they don't. Use what they learned at that time, they might use it 2 years later, but they like I learn every day because I pay attention to everything I do. And I'm always trying to do something new, like you said. Like I don't like a business where I work it for. I couldn't work no business for 10 years. Like that's what I'm saying. Even with the filming stuff, I think the only reason that I think that the filming staying on me so long is because you got different projects with film.
Yeah, man.
Film. And you don't have to film the same thing.
Film ain't never. It ain't going. Dude, I got content from ages and ages. I found some video I did at my mom's birthday 20 years ago with I interviewed people, and it's, good. That's the thing. Good content's always going to be good content.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you release something today live on your live thing, or you're like, you know what, I'm going to hold this one, and you release it. Like, if it's good, it's always going to be good. Like, at the time, it's timeless like that if it's good content. So some people rush stuff out with content. you know, for that, because they feel they got to rush it out to keep up with everyone else. And like, if it's good, it's good, bro. You can't deny it. It don't matter.
So, all right, but let me ask you this though. So, but like back, let's talk about the pool stuff though. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Cause doing pool stuff or doing the pool work like that, like, is it like a seasonal business, or do you have work all around? Cause you know, like it's a certain part of the year where you know it get cold everywhere.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? People ain't swimming anyways.
Yeah.
Or are they building pools at that time? I don't know.
So,
I know the industry, but I mean, I'll let you explain it.
So we don't build the actual pool. Like, I build, for years we've been doing the thing around the pool cage. So we used
But I'm just saying, somebody has to get a pool built.
My brother designs pools for a company, so I bring him in. Like, now what we're doing, where I've grown it now, like I morphed my company name, and now I really just kind of run under Paldin, which is my last name, but I registered it and I gave it a unique, you know, and I knew Wakaiva Screen Repairs, which was my repair company name. It was going to limit me from growing outside of this area, being more global mindset, you know. So a few years ago I incorporated that, and now that I finally know where I want to take the company in the direction that I want, since we've got into all this custom building, I've finally been able to put together like the pieces that I've been struggling with mentally the last 5 years. Is like, you know, like everything's good and I'm not grateful and blessed like I am. Like, I'm so happy for my guys and what we've been able to do, but like I need more like fulfillment in it than what I'm getting, and I just feel like I'm leaving stuff on the table. And it just hit me as the last year we've started to do these custom stuff, which I've showed you. I'm like, shit, that's it. Like, I designed that. Like, I was Paldin Design. Like, not just pool cake, that's just one of the things we do. But I do that same thing that I did with this process now in everything else I've ever done good. When I make websites, when I do social media, when I used to build their accounts, and when I did consulting for that, when I did apps, when I redesigned apps, I've helped put on events like basketball events with my guy. It's all the same thing. It's design, like I'm designing it in my head. I see it, visual. Yeah. Inspire, like, you know, because now I have to inspire my customer that this is it, this is why. Or in another sell, I don't like the word sell.
Up the design?
Yeah, but I see it visually first, and then I create. So if you look at these,
I feel what you come.
like this is what we built. Like, this is a pool cage. It doesn't look like there's even a pool cage there. Press play. Here.
That's power sound.
Right? So I just put that in my personal story. That's a pool cage. You're just looking at one big opening.
That's a screen, right?
Yeah.
It don't even look like a screen.
Exactly. So I put that out like that. Oh shit. And I just write Paldin Design, because I've been rocking Paldin, because at the end of the day that's my corporation name, and I registered that name.
Is that like a goal for like what people want with their screen though? They want to be able to make it look like
it's where we're
there?
going. It's our signature.
You want to make it look like it's not there?
Yeah, like that's all we've been doing. Like, I've been having to, the last year, I've been having to, customers that needed that, like let's say they had a pool cage and it was just old and it's beyond, like, this is too old, we can't do anything else to this. Like, look, here's what you need to do. But look, not only are we, you wouldn't be able to afford this if I was to charge what we should be charging for, but we were just starting to do it now. So I'm going to do it for you the same rate as the traditional one that everyone else is building. I had to inspire them and sell them on the idea of letting me even do this and see it like I see it. Then they do, and they still really don't know what it's going to look like, because there's none of them out there like it.
That was the first one you did?
No, that's the most recent one. So we did it, and everyone's like blown away. Like, I have like a bunch of Picassos that I haven't put out to the world yet. Like, I built my portfolio all year with customers on their property and their jobs, but at a price that, you know, they got was amazing. Like, now it's 1 point, like double, triple of that. Like, I had to, instead of paying money to market and advertise and take of what I know we could do to a bunch of people we don't know and say, hey, we can build these for you.
Yeah.
And we didn't build them. I just build them on a machine, you know, computer software, to be able to say, hey, we did that for a year and I sacrificed it cost me money. I didn't make as much because some would take longer. But we learned building them ourselves, and those are our prototypes that we built that are real. They're not photos that we've never built and no one's ever built. That's powerful.
That looked good. It looked like one on screen.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
No, we had 20. Use anyway. We had 20 minutes exactly. At every interview.
Now that I'm designed, like I don't feel pigeonholed now to just my industry, you know, because I've done all these same things in all these other industries.
All right, but no, all right.
So from a website to apps to events to social media to building my business to morphing it into another name brand to now going on like.
Oh, you didn't start off with the name that you use?
Nah, I designed, I inspire, and I created each one of those things. So really more of a design, you know, if I go with that, then I'm a design company, and I'm not, you know, we can do pools. It's no different. I have my brother builds pools. Like I see stuff.
So y'all gonna convert? Y'all gonna end up eventually just being a full.
I'll be able anything that I can see something different for. I'll design. Now there might be customers where all I do is just design it. Like I might go to South Florida after somebody hears and sees that they have a friend in South Florida and they live in Palm Beach. Hey, we have this $10 million house and we have this amazing pool. Yeah. We get killed by mosquitoes, but we don't want this ugly, what can you do? I have to go and see it a little different and create something, or maybe it's a pool.
Do you have competition? Like, I try to tell people every business be the same. Like you gonna have cause I mean when I did pool, when I worked with them with pool, they have pool companies go try to sabotage they set. I mean they own.
The thing with this is no one can sabotage because I'm giving them a custom design.
No, I'm saying do you have other screen companies that try to compete with you?
Yeah, I don't know. I never really focused on anyone else. I don't ever think about. I mean, there's other companies out there when I was doing repairs, but I never worry about that. I just focus on us and what we could do, and just try to always do.
Like you said, what you doing is something different.
We try to do the little things. What we're doing now, that's just the evolution of me evolving and evolving the company with it, instead of leaving it behind or selling it or saying, "Hey guys, go do your own thing," because they depend on me. Like I have guys and their families. Like I take that shit seriously. Like having kids,
No, I'm just saying what you're doing is no way the other pool companies can't notice though. You know what I'm saying? So it's and then it's I was just talking to somebody else about that. It don't make you mad when people steal your ideas because we live in a world where history just repeats itself. So everybody got their ideas for something from another idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of people don't like to give homage though.
They don't. People don't like to show
people
love.
Take your ideal and act like they came up with it.
People don't like to show love. You just got to accept that. You can't. That's what I'm saying. I don't worry about anyone else other than me and my people and the people in my circle and my little community that I've built and what they're doing. I try to stay in that and just facilitate here. I don't watch TV anymore. I keep all that out. We just.
Oh, you like me?
Yeah, bro.
I started watching cable 5 years ago. Yeah, I ain't watched the
during that election. I'm not into that stuff. You just turn it off, and
so how
you don't realize subconsciously how until you do that for a while how that stuff just creeps in, and that's why I just very big on be careful of what you take in visually, listening. Whether you think you're getting. What's the word? By that, what's the word? You think you're getting persuaded by that or not, you are. Like I remember back in the day, when Eminem came out, I used to listen to Eminem, and when he got a little more ragey in his second or third album, this is when I realized that. I'm like, oh wait a minute, he gets you so amped up, and then you get like that. Just like you listen to R&B, you kind of get, a little mushier, a little softer with women. This shit's real, dude.
So, I mean, when you started the business and doing all that, how was it with the family-wise? Because, I'm an entrepreneur myself, so I know, what it takes to, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of sacrificing.
Yeah, their mom had to sacrifice. When I started getting going, she had finally found her niche in her world, and it was all right, you're doing your thing now, too, on what you went to school for, and that's good, but, the business is at a point where we got to make a decision. Either you can't do that, then you're going to have to come home for a few years to handle the kids to and from school, all that, because we just have a different, look on parenting in general. It's more of just getting them ready for the world. So I want to be a part of that to and from school and home from school if we can while they were in elementary school. Plus we were on a different side of town, so we didn't have a choice. Or we could keep doing what we're doing, and I just can't grow the business anymore. So we decided, she stepped away from her thing, came home, and I was able to scale the business up until the kids were in high school, and she just recently started working again and doing something else in the industry she wanted to do. So we always make sacrifices for our kids to get the end result, which is get them ready for the world, so they ain't dependent on us.
It'd be crazy though. So and then you said you got your son. You coach the team, right? You the head coach?
I was. My son was a hooper. He was playing AAU. I put my kids into sports late, and he finally got interested in the sport. And then a couple coaches had left, and so I took over just to keep him in it because it was the first sport he was playing. This was like 5th grade, 6th grade, and I ended up staying and coaching those kids for a year and a half, and realized I was over my head. And I went and found somebody online who's now a good friend of mine. This trainer, his name's Jamil. And brought him in, and we would do I did fundraisers to help the parents raise money so we could use him to help get these kids better, because they were in a situation where they shouldn't even been in AAU, these types of teams. That's the sad thing about, you see a lot with sports now that you didn't see when we grew up. And it is what it is. People got to make money. It ain't hating on anyone, but we got thrown into that. We probably shouldn't have been there. He should have been a little more developed and found, but all that led to where we are now, and now he's basketball on another level. He trains like a pro, like 5 days a week, and he's going into high school, and he won't play on the freshman team, so it was all worth it. And more than anything, it gave him something he loved. And as a parent, that was that feel, he loved it, and he learned the process of hard work and grind and push. He sucked. And it's not a knock on him. It took a while for me to get to a point where I'm like, that's my fault. I didn't take him outside. I was an athlete, played every sport. I didn't take my son outside. Now our lifestyle wasn't conducive, but that's no excuse. People live in way worse, smaller places than we did. So I took ownership and just started investing in my son at that age, in 6th grade until now. Now he's ready, and I'm not stopping investing, but he's now ahead of all the kids his age. And it's given him a level of confidence that I feel is important. We all need confidence.
Confidence is everything.
And he has a trade, so whether he plays beyond high school, college, pro or not, he's learned enough about the game. By the time he gets out of high school, he could always be a coach, or so I feel like I gave him a trade, like my dad gave me a trade that I was able to lean back on.
So your dad did pools too?
Yeah, I learned this growing up. So I was able to lean on the trade he gave me, and he used it as a lesson to teach me, look, you don't want to work with your body. You don't want to have to work with your hand. Use your head. That's what my dad used to tell me. And so without that, who knows what would have happened to me. I wouldn't have had that to fall. I figured something out. I'm grown. But it was a key part of where I am now. And I've been able to take that and evolve that into the business in the middle that was kind of doing everything, to now I'm going more just design. There may be stuff that all I do is design. People bring me in, hey, we want to do something different with our kitchen. I gotta see it. I don't give you.
So you design kitchens too?
Anything. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting into all that. All I realize now is, we didn't, before we started building these.
You should do the houses though.
I didn't know how to build them. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I saw that I wanted to be able to do, and my guys already knew how to that craft, and they just had to learn some new things, and we did it. We figured it out. So I can do that in anything, because that's what I do best, is find the right people. I only keep people around me that are doing things and evolving and trying to achieve, and I don't want to be around underachievers. I want to be around people that are elite at their craft, because when you're elite at your craft, you can't get inspired or look up to people in your craft anymore. You got to be around other people that are elite at their craft, and you get inspired on a whole nother level, regardless of whether you can rap or you can draw. If you're do what you do and you produce and you make content, and if you're around other people, because it's all the same characteristics that push all of us. So that's why it's important and same. Like I don't want my kids to be around people like that aren't like that. I want them to experience that too, so they know like that's part of the key of like unlocking everything we got in here, dude.
Yeah, because, I mean, yeah, it makes sense though. Cause like if I hang around another cameraman all the time, you got like you'll find yourself like not focused on you, because you'll be trying to copy. You'll be like, oh, I see him do it, let me try to do this, and that might not be for you. You know what I'm saying? So hang around other entrepreneurs to keep you on track. Cause you know what I'm saying, like if I was around you, I'd be like, all right, I see what he doing, but I don't be a fool. So you know what I'm saying? I know I ain't distracted, but just being around somebody that do the same thing you do a lot, you'll get distracted because you'll see something they do and you'll just be like, oh, I'm gonna try this. And you know what I'm saying? I tell, that's like when I deal with rappers, I tell rappers all the way, I be like, y'all always got a plan how y'all gonna make it. And I keep telling y'all plans come from other rappers. And that's what I'm saying. Say you won't name one rapper that made it the same. They all come from different cities, different neighborhoods, different background, families. So you know what I'm saying? Nobody made it the same. It just looked like that because they all at the same place right now. But they all got to that place a different way. They all took a different path.
Everybody, you know, runs their own race, their own, you know, their own path to get where. There's a million ways to skin a cat. What do they say? Like, there's easy ways, there's hard ways, there's the middle, there's getting off course and getting back on course. Like, it's just, I've always been someone, I've always seen things different than everyone else. So I kind of always knew I was different, but I didn't really ever know what that meant. You know, you were here growing up. You don't really have life figured out until you're in your 40s.
Different is crazy.
Yeah,
that would be the word that they use for different.
Oh, I'm definitely different. Anyone I ever like, I mean, I get that a lot, and not in a bad. You know, I take it as a compliment. Like, I don't. That's all.
When people say that about me, I always think about people like all the great inventors of the world, because if you won't name one genius that they didn't think was crazy or psycho or something, they just felt like that he wasn't normal.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like when I tell people, so I really know that when people think you ain't normal, it's just because they see the greatness in you. But like we say, people don't like to give homage. Like people don't want to tell you like, man, you great. And they rather break up all the bad things.
They want to see like you go through as you're getting there, and they'll root for that. Like oh man, he's working for it. Look at him. But as soon as you get to a spot where like you got it, or like a point where they're like, okay, bro, that's enough. They fucking flip, bro. They don't like. They'll stop liking your stuff. They still watch it. They'll still scroll.
Yeah. And
you'll know because you'll see them in the little story up here. Even though you don't watch theirs, it's the algorithm thinks you're interested because they slowing down to watch yours. But they're not liking it and they don't comment it. But the app still knows. Like.
So that's why I said, but you know that's what we deal with a lot with people though. You know what I'm saying, with that entrepreneurship. Like, so I mean, like when did you like lose friends and stuff when you started your business?
No, because like my friends I've had.
Cause you was already
I got a special group of friends from early like late middle school through high school, like on another level, and when the ones that still live, even now, like we don't see or talk about. We're all telling you, it don't matter. It's like family. Like we get up, like we have our own little.
Yeah, but you was more older when you went through that.
Like
though, too,
this area is just a different area in general. Like. Is very like involved. Everyone kind of knows each other, and if you lived here a long time, the circle, you run into people, come back and raise families here. But no, I just, my kids are older. I mean, a lot of my friends now have their kids are on the younger end. Not a lot of them have kids my age, so we got started a little early. So we're just in a different place, just trying to get them across the finish line and get them, all the way through, so they can go be. Adults that get things done out the gate and not have to learn as many hard ways and wrong turns as their mom and I did, not because we weren't given the right guidance, just because that's the path that we took. If I can help clear your path a little bit and give you some GPS directions along the way, I know we'll have given you everything else to make it through so they don't end up back here, because I don't want to have to be them dependent on me forever. Not that I wouldn't if my kid, but like I want them to go enjoy life and do something they're interested in, where we all just, I don't know, I feel growing up, you're sold a different dream, a school, this, and I never got on that level as my parents preached that. I was like, I never felt that was it. I'm like, because I think different. So now I just, like, we think different about parenting. I'm like, look, yeah, I'm your dad. I am. But like, y'all also didn't, ask to be here, so I'm not gonna fake the funk and punish you over something that is just part of life you're learning, and we learned it in different ways and maybe didn't get caught because we didn't have a phone. Like I saw what you wrote in that group text. Like and it ain't really a big deal because I used to say way worse stuff, crazier around my friends. But let me explain to you what it means when you put it in writing in one of these, because people in their 40 or 50s are the only ones that have lived like work world non-technology and work world with technology, so we kind of know what can happen. I'm like, you might think your friend group is cool and you all tight, but 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, one of those guys is not going to be friends with somebody in that group anymore. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. They're going to go back and get something and screenshot it and use it to, that's how the world works. So before you write what you write, again, next time, about somebody that's not in that group, you need to have the mentality that if I had this on a t-shirt and walked up to this person in a public place, would I be embarrassed? If you can still sleep on it after typing that, dude, you good. Other than that, you putting your life like on risky, because y'all aren't gonna be cool like that forever. It's screenshot generation, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Screenshot everywhere.
That's gold right there, dude. Dump gold. I don't know where that came from, but that's how I teach my kids their lessons. You know?
No. That's
now, like
you got a lot of parents on you.
My son does real world shit
though.
too. He skipped school the other day for the first day. It was the general word you would call it. Like his sister takes him to school. She's 2 years older. He wasn't ready. He was in the bathroom. She went without him. So then they found out, like he stayed home from school. I didn't find out till like 3. But they were plotting and they didn't want to tell us. And I didn't even get mad. I just go home. What I told you guys last time in it then. I take the phone and I grab the cord out of the back of the computer. I said, all right, like I said, dude, this is the new Bell. Like these kids, their lives run through this. They do their homework with it. Like that and the computer cord, there's no TV on anyway. So that's it. Other than that, now you got to talk. You didn't communicate with us. You didn't. All you had to do was say, hey, she left without me, or hey, I don't feel like going to school today. Like, bro, I don't care. Fine. Like, you know what the law. But because you didn't communicate, that's a real problem. That don't go in this house. So like, give me that and that. Like, I ain't gotta beat you. Like, I don't work like I ain't getting festered up like that.
Yeah, cause I got
you crush them. You take this away. They can't function, dude. It's their alarm. It's their emails from their teachers.
Yeah.
It's their, you know, to their friends. It's how they communicate. That's why I don't hate on it. Like, I'm a big technology guy, but you also got to know how to operate with it in the real world, not just in it. You know what I mean? There's like us using it now, like me showing you that picture of what we did, and us talking about how it's affected my son. But and then there's just like this, and you become secluded to the world because you become what you get used to. You know, so if you're not talking, then it's hard to share. You know, you're used to typing your feelings and thoughts.
And that's oh my God, you just brought that up. Like I tell everybody I talk to, that's like one of my worst pet peeves, because like I'm very like you say we don't like I don't watch TV, so I'm very like in the reality.
Yeah.
So
in
like
the real world,
bro, fucking call me, bro. What the fuck? You just sent me a paragraph like. I'm fucking busy as shit. Like I got 10 minutes to have a like you can call me, we can have a 2-minute conversation. Why you want to take 45 minutes for us to be texting each other? You know how long it take? Like people really don't think about time, and that shit is important. And like, do you know how long it take to text somebody a 2-paragraph message? And then they respond to you, and you don't even realize y'all be texting each other for 45 minutes. And if y'all would have called, it would have been a 5-minute conversation.
And then there's people that can write those one after another and fire them. Like, bro, I ain't got time for all that, dude.
Bro, I tell everybody, if you send me any message that's over like 7 to 8 lines, 9 out of 10 I ain't reading. I'm probably glance through it.
Engaged, you send me a one-liner, as soon as you see red, you just keep hitting me with like quick one-liner missiles. Like I wouldn't even hit you with a one-liner. I'll just call me. Yeah.
Like just pick the phone up. Like and that one of my work. Another thing that I get a lot that is the people that
I just will only do FaceTime. Like I don't like to. Like I just feel like in today's world, if I gotta put the phone in my like people I'm talking to for the first time, but like if we go talk like that, like once or twice a week, like bro, hit the freaking video, dude. Like I want to see you. Like I read body language off face and everything. I'm already hard of hearing. I don't like this. Like this can't be good for us forever.
2008.
Come on, bro. Like let's put it up here.
I missed 2009, 2008 before social media.
It just ain't changing. It's just moving. Like Zuckerberg released something yesterday with what they're doing and going more like trying to go more like in a VR world, almost like where you're just. But it ain't. It's happening.
It's
so
happening,
like,
but it's bad because people falling into it because you know what I'm saying. Like I'm big on that with teaching my kids that because you know with their generation they got so much technology they live in that shit like you said. But you know what I'm saying like
If you don't know how to use it, you're left behind.
Yeah, so I try to teach them how to use it. Like I even install like the apps where I can turn their phones off. Because they're not. Sometimes they go with their mom. I mean, my daughters always they with their mom a lot, but my sons are with me more than their moms. So like, you know what I'm saying? When I control their phones, like, you know what I'm saying? I text them at certain times of the day and say, hey, get on your learning app. Yeah. Because I got them learning different languages and stuff. I'm not there to do it with them all the time, so I got the app. So the app, they get on the app. They know how to. My one daughter know how to speak German, and one know how to speak Chinese, and my son he speaks Spanish. Like they just be practicing different languages. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but the technology is terrible though. I mean, it's good. We need it, but I'm saying people make it terrible
because they don't. The problem is like it's a real thing in the world that
a
lot of things revolve around, and they don't. No one educates on it. These kids, like they don't educate in school because they get scared of it, and they try to tell them they can't do it. Like don't touch in the stove, and what the hell do you think is going to happen? I'll give you a perfect example. Like. My son's a freshman now, so it's really been I was telling somebody else's story the other day. It's really only been the last, I would say, like 8 or 9 months or so, like he's been able to use his Instagram account. I created one for him 3 years ago when I knew like what direction we were going with him, and hey, we're going to basketball. This is, I'm an artist. We just started documenting, you know, and I'm like, show the I created an account for him, and I may never got to where we are now, but I always document everything. I'm a video guy too, bro. Like. So we did that, and then we got to a certain point, and as I'm growing it, I would say about halfway through, I gave him access. I'm like, look, I just want you to watch now. Just watch. I followed certain people that I want him to see, like learn behavior. Like this is how you're going to use it. I'm going to create the followers of the content I want you to be seeing, and I'm going to post and respond to stuff till you learn how you should be handling this stuff. Then that way it becomes a learned behavior. So for 1.5 years, he had access to his new account and would see the kind of content I wanted him to see to build his mind and his mentals in line with everything else he was learning on the outside, you know, in the direct content that he was seeing in his Instagram feed because I controlled that account.
Right.
And then I would comment on stuff till recently, like you gave him access and I see, you know, the behaviors and what he's liking and what he's commenting. So that's why when I told you that thing in the group message, I had to address that because that's like totally out from, you know, we don't talk like that. Not in writing, bro. Like, not that that's not a real thought, but with your boys or not, things go haywire. There's broken relationships all the time, you know?
Yeah, no, so like, I'm trying to get back caught up, but that's like where you see yourself going though, like with all with like where you see yourself like 2-3 years. I like short term goals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like where you see yourself like 2 years from now with all the pool stuff and everything.
I see us just being more of a design company as a whole. Like, if you want something different, whatever it is, whether it's in your house, whether it's outside, whether it's your company internally, your business as a whole, the way it operates and makes money, a website, an app, anything. Like, that's what I do. Like, I'm different. I see stuff different. You know, I design differently. You know, I inspire people in a different way. And then we create. Like, I have the team to create. And the areas that we aren't doing that yet, I will have the teams to create that, because I find and only spend time around people that are good at their craft. I'm not interested in training people anymore. So as people see that we're getting into more stuff, they're going to come to us and be like, hey, we want to be a part of what you're doing. It's not about the money. It's about making that kind of shift in just these old school people that are like, like I had an engineer that would have to sign and do our plans, and until I really like understood, I'd have to tell him my design and he'd have to draw it and then go to the guy that does the science. Yeah. And he was struggling with it, and I didn't understand because I didn't really know the industry like these good old boys forever, because I came back to it to save my life, is that he couldn't grab that. He was trying to use just pre-printed plans that they've used for the last 30 years and change the, you know, the settings, and he couldn't design what I was telling him and see. So I eventually had to start doing it myself. Like, I would draw them. I would look at their other plans and see.
I gotta see some of your drawings from like scratch though. Like how you like that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like that.
I'll
with
do it in my
videos.
head. Like I go on people's property, and I'm like, they know now, and I'm there for that. They don't even need to talk because they've been told by somebody else. So I just look at everything as a whole, and I look at the house, and I look at it kind of like with an architectural mind, and what could I put here that would give a nice flow into the house and not, kill it aesthetically. What would match the way this house is, like very boxy and hard lines. Like, what could I do that would flow into that and accent that and not be like, what the hell is that there? Like an ugly ass pool cage. You'd be like, damn, that's just nice. What? That's a screen? So whether it's that or a website, like, my websites, I've always been like, I'm a Kanye guy from day one. And aside from his music and all the reasons I follow him and what I like that I get out of him, something in his like business I picked up was that anytime he did a website or launching a product, like he kept it so simple. It was like single purpose. So if you went to Easy Supply or whatever it was, like you knew exactly, there was one product there. That's it. Buy the shit. There was no second guessing like what you're supposed to do. So when I made the website for my company in 2016, I knew I didn't want to take calls and hire a secretary. I wanted to be technology and text everyone if I could and send them to my website so they put in their information. All my website had was a nice landing page and the shit to put there. Because if they got to my website from my social media stuff pushing them, I want it to be clear like, look bro, you ain't here to look around or find nothing. Like put your info in and we'll hit you up. And if you can't follow directions out the gate, I'm not interested in working with you. Like that was my mentality day one from the people that wanted to work with us. Then it evolved to just text. Like I don't take calls. It says text if you're a new customer. If they don't text, I don't return the voicemail. And it's not an asshole thing. Like of course I'd love to serve everyone, but I can't. So the people that I do serve, I want it to be people that follow directions. Because when I build something for this guy in this $3 million house and this thing costs, let's say it costs $100,000, right? When we start making these beautiful ones at the expensive houses, and I'm like, hey, this comes with instructions. Like you have to go up there and blow out your gutter once a month, or you have to call me in 5 years to come out and reseal this. If they don't, like I'm gonna get the call to come out, hey, this thing's leaking, and I go out and this shit's full because you didn't follow my instructions. I go back and show them the, like I make videos.
What's the, like, before we go, what's the biggest job you ever did?
What do you mean?
Like far as like price wise?
I mean, I don't think price
just to
wise.
give people like a
I don't think price wise.
A lot of people don't never got a pool.
Matters, but I would tell you like a typical like average size home, single story, 3-4 bedroom, normal size pool, 50 by, not wider than 50 by 30, 50 by 28. The new custom designs, we make them now, and where we're gonna be now that we've finally filled our portfolio. Like there's not one getting built for less than $30,000. And if ain't nobody paying, then it's fine. We won't build them around here. We're gonna go to those elite neighborhoods where not only will they pay that, they'll pay 3 times that because no one else in their neighborhood has them. And because they got money, I don't want to have to serve those kind of people.
But one thing about people with money, they always want something that the other people
and then everyone else that wants money. So they
want something their neighbors ain't got.
That's why I changed the name, and that's why I morphed. And we've been able to give it to people in our community here for an insane rate, and give them something no one else has, and build it for the same price. I was building them for less than that. Like that's what their minimum worth for us if we're still building them around here. But if I go to Palm Beach Gardens, that same size thing, because there's more restrictions down there because of wind, labor's higher down there. It's going to cost, 3 times that I'm charging.
Yeah, that's
so.
But yeah, so we got my boy BP here, man.
Yes,
I appreciate you. But I mean, anybody you want to shout out or you want to, you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate my boy.
I'm about to bring you back. I mean, almost everybody I have on this thing, we never get enough time to. But like I tell you, that's the whole point.
That's why I don't put labels and limits on stuff, dude.
Yeah.
See right there. You call somebody a man that you just put. You don't cap it.
Yeah, but no. But that's all. That's why. But that's what it's all about, though. That's why I like to talk to different professions. It don't matter what they do because
it's everybody.
Because one thing I want to show the world is that everybody. It don't matter if somebody's the head manager of a corporation or so everybody got a story to how they got to where they was at. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's stories are interesting, and that's just what I try to.
Don't run from your story. Like your story is what defines you.
Yeah.
Like if you run from your story, like things just don't work out. Your life
Yeah,
is
you know
never.
we gotta bring you back in a couple
Yeah.
months, see how everything going. Though.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
man, a lot changed. People in 6 months, people, man, you might come back in 6 months and have a rig rock like a whole
I used to have
Santa
that.
Claus beard. You know what I'm saying? Be a whole other person. Like, man, y'all didn't. I stopped doing that, man. I done opened up a bar now.
I mean,
you know what I'm
6
saying?
months ago from today, back 6 months ago, it'd have been completely different. You know, I just because I'm evolving every day. I'm always trying to sharpen, man, like a knife. And
Yeah. So I appreciate you coming
Yes,
out.
sir.
We're gonna get it up next time.
I appreciate my boy Eddie Lee for introducing me to you, Eddie.
Yeah.
Listen, Lee, that's my man.
All right.
Holla.
Talk to him.
Bro, please, bro.
I'm joking. Stop.
Talk to him.